And welcome back to another week of If You Make the History, where we're taking a look at Celtic's quest for 10 in a row. Now, life, as it often does, gets in the way, especially during these troubling times, so apologies for not getting a wrap-up of everything that went down Sunday and then a preview of Thursday. So let's just look back on Thursday as Celtic goes into Sarajevo, wins 1-0. Pretty impressive performance when it all comes down to it. It is kind of one of those things where when it's a playoff to get into a group stage, man, it is just win, baby. It's full Al Davis mode, and that's what Celtic did. They went in and they won when they had to win. It wasn't always pretty. I think they were north of 2 on the expected goals, but XG is such a it's an easy stat to bend however you want your narrative to be. If you want it to, to make things look good or bad, you can bend XG however you want. So you just need to take it with a grain of salt or a whole spoonful of salt when you look at it. Bottom line is they did get through. Fitness looked good. Looked a lot more impressive than what Sarajevo had. The field looked like it had been bombed. So all in all, you had to go on the road, win a one-off game on a rough field, and really substantial travel, especially for Europe. It is what it is, and you actually got a bit of a boost too because Victoria lost, Wolfsburg lost, Basel lost, Sporting Lisbon all lost as well. So the Celtic entered in pot 1, which is as good as it was going to get. I mean, things looked really good for Celtic, and then the group stage draw happened, and Celtic is now partnered with Milan, who had to go through a 24 penalty shootout against Rio Ave to get through Sparta and Lille. So it's when you talk about a group of death, this is a group of death for Celtic. And I don't at first you're like, man, maybe you're going to be trying to fight your way through. Yeah, now you are pulling out the knife, putting it between your teeth, and you got the bloody knuckles out ready to go because you're just trying to survive this group. If you survive this group, much less win it, you're going to feel real good about life. As far as the game itself that got us here, when you take a step back and look at it, I have been very critical of Scott Brown because I think Scott Brown is in the twilight in a big way in his career, but he has put together 2 impressive performances in a row, one in the league and then one when you needed it against Sarajevo. Not a lot necessarily going forward, but helping to control that midfield. Now, can he do that against these Europa League teams? Man, I really don't know. I am more pessimistic than I am optimistic that he's able to do that, but we're just going to see how that shakes out because I was nervous about him going in and having to take on Sarajevo in that role, and he did well. You have him there, Ryan Christie as well, helping trying to get things moving, and what it comes down to is a shot on goal that is spilled, and Olsen Edouard, who is stepping in. Really, it's kind of a weird thing to say he's stepping in for Albion Ayeti, but that's kind of what it felt like. He cleans up the miss, puts it away, and Celtic doesn't have to deal with penalties, doesn't have to deal with extra time where things get weird. It was one-way traffic for the most part. They started to cede possession late in the game a little bit more than I had hoped they would, but it wasn't a tragedy by any stretch of the imagination. It's a solid performance. It's not the best thing you'll ever see, but it's definitely not the worst. And it's a good bounce back, honestly, after everything that went wrong with getting bounced out of Champions League at home because Neil Lennon beating his head against a wall, trying to see if the wall would give up first. Just more impressive performances. Jeremy Frimpong is going to make an obscene amount of money for Celtic, I think, when the time comes for him to sell. That is a right-sided spark plug, and I know there were debates about how he fits into this team in that 3-5-2 look as kind of a right wing back, but I mean he looks the role right now, and he's so in form. I don't know that you can take him off the field, which is great news if you're Celtic to have that kind of weapon, even if you have to bring him off the bench late in games. It's even these European games, even league games. If you're trying to control his minutes a bit as the schedule congestion picks up even more, that's a great weapon to have off the bench if he can give you, 25, 30 minutes in a game and really help open things up. As far as league plays goes, Celtic still sits a point back of Rangers because of Rangers pulling a draw a couple weeks ago. Celtic does have the game in hand, so if they'll take care of business, they're in good position. But we're about 2 weeks out from the first Old Firm, and assuming life doesn't get in the way there, we'll have a lot more coverage coming up on that Old Firm, seeing what teams look like. We're closing in real hard on the transfer window now. So we'll see what the transfer window looks like with Celtic getting into the Europa League group stage and having these big matchups. I think the odds are you're going to have guys staying around. Had they lost to Sarajevo, the transfer window could have been chaotic with guys wanting to leave to go chase bigger opportunities. And maybe some guys still do, but maybe they stay. It really is just going to be kind of where we hold our breath and we watch and we see anyone coming in or out. The big issue, though, if you want to look towards league play, is just going to be the injuries. Ayedi picking up that knock, Nirbiton also picking up a bit of an injury. It's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, and it's definitely not great when you start getting into the schedule concession stuff, and you feel confident you can survive playing other Scottish League teams with missing a guy or two. But when Rangers comes calling to town, you're gonna want every hand on deck, because this is going to be, coming up in a couple of weeks, your first real test to kind of put some space between yourselves and them as you chase this 10th league title in a row. Now, all of that pressure is going to be mounted one way or another after that 90 minutes is settled. We're going to see kind of, where does everybody stand, and how much pressure does Steven Gerrard get put on him? How much pressure does Neil Lennon get put on him when that time does come and they have to they have to play and they have to look at the after effects of it, because it's assuming everybody takes care of business, and I think they will getting into that game. It could be a situation where Celtic opens up a little bit of space between themselves and Rangers, or Rangers kind of creates a little bit of breathing room for themselves, and then the pressure mounts. And what I really do want to see, and I'm looking way ahead here, is I want to see what it looks like after Christmas, second half of the year. We saw Rangers just completely implode last year and really made it a lot easier for Celtic than they should have. I want to see if that happens again for Rangers or Celtic, how they respond after the Christmas break. But that is a long way to go from now. For now, we've got 2 weeks out before the first Old Firm match, where, we really just, put the two goats in the pen and let them run into each other for a while. And then we've got Europe, and God, it's such a damn group of death for Celtic. It's going to be a lot of fun, though. Zlatan will be coming back to Celtic Park and his 39-year-old legs or something or another. Zlatan's been carving up Italy when he gets the chance. He carved up MLS when he got the chance, unless he played Atlanta. Just want to put that out there. It's another chance as well for Celtic and Rangers, if they perform well in these group stages, to increase the coefficient going forward, and that's going to be big. I think both of these clubs can make some noise in Europe. Not saying they're going to make, quarterfinals or semifinals. It'd be great if they did. Not to disparage either club outright, but it'd be great to see them make some noise and kind of step up in the coefficient, worst case scenario, just to hold firm. We'll take a look as next games come up. We'll see what's on the horizon for Celtic. We'll take a look as well when we get into transfer drama to see who comes, who goes. Until next time.